There's currently 6 facilities that are experiencing an outbreak of COVID-19 in our region. Country Village Home stands out for having significantly more cases than anywhere else. And now a Windsor man with a loved one staying at that very facility is speaking out. He says his grandmother tested positive for COVID-19. She's been stripped of her ability to freely communicate with her family ever since. With more, I'm joined now by the CBC's Sanjay Maru. Sanjay, how is the family coping with this?
Well, Chris, Gary Ruccolo says he's feeling a lot of mixed emotions, mostly frustration. As you mentioned, Country Village Homes in Woodsley has been the hardest hit by far. The latest numbers we have show 64 residents there have tested positive for the virus, along with 22 staff members. Now, Ruccolo's grandmother, she's one of those 64. And while he says the nurses and staff there have done a fantastic job of ensuring she's safe, he says the management has been less than transparent.
We're all upset. My wife, when she thinks about it, she's crying.
Those tears stemming from a connection to his 93-year-old grandmother, unable to accept visitors because she's tested positive for COVID-19. But Ruccolo says that sadness has turned into frustration.
The biggest challenges have been transparency through the nursing home itself and just basic communication with my grandmother.
In a statement to CBC News, the company which oversees Country Village says it is working to keep residents connected to friends and family through phone calls, emails, texts, and video chats. But Ruccolo says his ability to freely communicate with his grandmother has been reduced dramatically after she was moved to a different room without a phone of her own.
I asked him not to move her until her phone could be moved. And I was met with an okay, we'll look into it. And then I called him again. I left him another message after I found out she had been already moved. And I was never called back.
Throughout this pandemic, Country Village has refused to provide details of the number of residents that have died there due to COVID-19, instead deferring all requests to the health unit. Country Village does say, however, it has established a dedicated phone line that families can contact if they have any questions about the health of their loved one or the care they're receiving. But for Ruccolo, he just wants to be able to talk to his grandmother directly as freely as he could before she was moved into isolation.
What if she needs to talk to me and she wants to call me for some comfort, or just to talk, or check in on the kids, or talk to the kids, or talk to my wife?
Now, since Ruccolo's grandmother was moved, he's only been able to speak with her on just 3 different occasions, twice thanks to a personal support worker that let his grandmother use her cell phone. And while Ruccolo says he's appreciative of that worker doing that, that's outside of their mandate, and it's a risk because his grandmother is COVID-19 positive. As for the 3rd time, Ruccolo says he actually went to another media outlet to discuss these same issues of transparency he's been experiencing with the home, and just 20 minutes after speaking with a reporter, a Country Village number popped up on his phone. He answered it, and sure enough, it was his grandmother on the other end. But he says the problem has not yet been solved because she still doesn't have a phone in her room to call. And he says that's what needs to change so that the 93-year-old can get the family support she needs. Chris.
Thanks, Sanjay. CBC's Sanjay Maru live tonight.